You've been raped. No. You should be.
This guy who looks like the result of a botched fusion dance performed by a colonostomy bag and a sloth is Only Use Me Blade. Now I'm sure some of you are thinking Brian was just telling a really shitty, edgy joke, but it's not. Brian, Only Use Me Blade, has a history of sexually harassing women during streams, and earlier this week found himself under more controversy during an RV stream where it appears he gets into a bed with a passed out drunk woman and thrusts. This is all allegedly, nothing is 100% proven, so keep that in mind. All of that in that department is alleged. He is a downright deplorable, revolting, adipose astronaut, a downright shit stain on the internet. He is easily the world's worst streamer. He is a raging alcoholic, serial groper, just groping complete strangers, and he's an animal abuser as well. All of these, all documented. I'll show you what I can. Let me give you a brief history of Only Use Me Blade. Only Use Me Blade rose to popularity during the early days of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. His shtick was he was only using a knife to get his kills, and he did well in the game, but his popularity faded as the game's popularity faded, and he didn't adapt very well. He got big into alcohol and then started streaming. The only reason he maintained even a very small audience is because people were laughing at him. They liked to see him get drunk and fall asleep, pass out, hurt himself, stumble around. That was the only thing that people tuned in to see. He's a degenerate loser. In fact, he was banned on Twitch because he got so drunk he started fingering his asshole for a $20 donation. The only reason people have ever tuned into Brian's stream is to watch him pass out and compete with each other to see who can wake him up with the loudest noise through the computer. That is Brian's whole identity, his legacy. And I'd feel bad for him, but it's hard to feel bad for a skid mark like this guy. Now let me show you his follow-up to when he recently groped a woman on stream and she called him out for it. This is his perspective on it.
I just have a lot of love to give. So if some random fucking ugly whore bitch gets groped, she gets groped. Accept it. You should be fucking welcome, whore. You should be fucking welcome, whore. Seriously, you should be fucking honored that I would ever grope you, you stupid bitch.
What a class act. This guy is the exact person your parents tell you never to end up like. You can genuinely smell him through the computer. Brian struggles with alcoholism, obviously, and it's so bad. He's 36 years old and looks like a fucking walking corpse already, but it's so bad that he has to wear diapers because he frequently shits and pisses himself, and he's been shown on stream putting on his adult diapers, and they're fucking massive diapers. It looks like something that you could put a whole goddamn Ford F-150 into, because this is a big boy taking big shits and big peepees when he's blackout drunk. Now, let me get to the animal abuse.
The drama, people suing me.
Alright, let's go. I didn't like it.
Animal abuse is all the rage from internet creators these days, and Only Use Me Blade hopped on that bandwagon early. You got Brooke, the girl that put her dog into the dryer. You've got all of these titans in animal abuse on the internet, and Only Use Me Blade was kind of the pioneer who really kicked it off. He's done more than just that, but that was the first clip that I could find, and I didn't really want to go through his entire catalog of absolutely deplorable, disgusting shit. So I think you can pretty well understand how he feels about animals and how he treats them when he's around them, even though he himself is the most vile animal on the internet. Now let's get to the most recent thing where this grotesque dump truck appears to have non-consensual sex with a passed out drunk woman. Now keep in mind, nothing has been 100% proven, so this is all alleged. The incident occurred on an RV trip. It's a stream that they're doing with a bunch of different people. She was on the trip with them. There's multiple different camera angles, and one of the camera angles shows Blade going into the back room where the girl was passed out drunk, and he is stripped down to his boxers and appears to be thrusting on top of the woman. Now, before this alleged incident even occurs, there's a clip right before anything happens where Brian is asking one of the other men that you see in frame here if he should go have sex with the passed out girl in the back. He mentions her by her stream name, and I don't think she wants her name associated with any of this, so I'm not going to show you the clip. But to the guy's response when Brian says this is he just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Every man on this fucking RV that you see here is such a piece of shit. It's unbelievable. It's like this RV is a giant pile of dog shit, and these are just subhuman flies feasting upon it, festering in this cesspool. It's fucking gross. This is the clip where the alleged incident actually is occurring on camera. I've cropped it out so you can't see it, but just out of frame, it seems as though Brian is making a thrusting motion on the bed. He's a massive man, so you can see the covers moving back and forth, and his legs are moving quite a bit as well, trembling under the body weight that they have to support. But this alleged incident is occurring at this time in the clip. Another extremely sad thing about this whole situation is the Reddit community that's trying to defend it. It's like a propaganda machine. They released like an Illuminati video trying to debunk it scientifically, but it's really poorly made and you can clearly tell it's made by a 15-year-old. And as you can read, their excuse is basically the RV was bouncing, which explains why the covers were moving the way they were, but it doesn't explain why they were moving at the same speed and the same interval during this alleged incident that occurs, and his legs were shaking due to alcohol shakes. And then throws in like this conspiracy bullet point list on why people would be making it up, and it's obviously never even occurred to this psychopath middle school lunch table loner social outcast 15-year-old that the reason people are upset is because they feel as though they may have just witnessed a crime and a really horrible thing, because in this alleged incident the footage looks very bad and disturbing. And for some reason has these fucking paranoid gang-stalking conspiracy points like, oh, they're coming after our entertainment, the normies are flooding in, white knights. It's unbelievable, and it's just fucking pathetic.
It's not rape if they don't have an orgasm. Fuck it.
And okay, I don't think if this shit is like, I don't think I should just be on stream doing this shit.
That was a clip of the girl reacting to a video that detailed the entire situation, and then she goes offline. I'm gonna give you a quick little montage of Brian groping women on stream. If you just search Only Use Me Blade, the first 20 or so results are just clips of him groping women that aren't interested in him. His name, Only Use Me Blade, is basically just synonymous with vomit and grope.
Oh my god. Oh my god, what the fuck? You can't broke me! You broke me on my head. I don't know where I'm at.
You have some big ass titties, baby. No, bring them on back. Bring them on back.
Oh yeah, it's worth mentioning, all of this is after he's purged YouTube of the clips of him groping and sexually harassing and assaulting women. Yeah, he also abuses copyright takedown shit. He is the max level of pathetic loser on this fucking planet. It's unbelievable. So, Blade, you're probably watching, if you can even keep your eyes open for this long without puking on yourself and falling over. You're a fucking menace. You fucking suck. You're a horrible person. I don't know who's watching you. Well, that's a lie. I do know who's watching you. It's the people just there to make fun of you in the stream chats, because that's kind of all you're there for, just like a punching bag for those people to make fun of you. I don't know if you're proud of that or not, but you do get donations for it that are insulting you to your face, so I guess that's cool for you too, I guess. But anyway, ordinarily I'd feel bad for someone like Brian, because he does struggle with a genuine condition, alcoholism. But he uses it like a superpower to be the worst possible person on the planet and make money off. Easily the worst streamer out there. That's
How
it.
did my whole
So, yeah.
speech about how I need subs and to get the stream going if you like the content, blah, 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 how that results in 0 subs? There are regulars here. $5 a month. How do you have hours of time to watch me and not $5? I don't know. What are you doing with your life where you have hours of time to watch Twitch and not $5 to provide for the content that you're watching? Because it's like people just really really don't respect me as a content creator.
Well, this parasite's right about one thing. Nobody respects her as a content creator. Now, I'm not going to mention this streamer by name because I'm pretty sure she loves negative publicity. She does fucked up shit all the time just to get her name out there. She subscribes to the idea that all publicity is good publicity, but fails to realize that when you as a person are your own brand and rely on people liking you for money, having a negative public image literally fucking ruins you. And this one is definitely bigger than she anticipated because no one likes someone this shamelessly greedy. She is a streamer who runs political talk shows, but the majority of the stream is spent begging and shaming people into giving her money. And it's some of the most pathetic shit I've seen on Twitch, and I've seen a lot of pitiful, sad shit on Twitch. I saw a man finger his butthole for a $20 donation on Twitch, and I still have more respect for that than I do her. At least him sticking his fingers in his asshole was more fun than all of her streams combined. And somehow him putting nearly his whole fist in his chocolate starfish was still classier than any of this girl's streams. At least he had the decency to not shame the viewers into giving him $20 for sticking fingers up his brown balloon knot. He wasn't on stream going, hello, you broke cheap-ass viewers, I'm sitting here with my beautiful asshole goat seed into the camera, and nobody's giving me $20. My speech about giving me $20 and I'll finger my asshole didn't give me any money. What the fuck is wrong with you? He was very simple about it. He's like, you know what, $20 and I'll finger this asshole right here. You don't have to do it, but if you do, I'll fucking finger myself. And that's how it went. She's over here making a whole song and dance about it, making everyone just feel fucking uncomfortable, and she feels so entitled to their money, which she absolutely doesn't deserve. She provides no value whatsoever. You might as well just flush $5 down a toilet. That's more value than giving it to this girl.
Expecting and blah, blah, blah. Like, how are you consuming this free entertainment? Like, how do you think free entertainment is available to you? It's because other people actually provide money so you can be a cheap ass. That's it. Other people provide money because they're generous and they see like a thing that they want to support, a form of entertainment they want to support, and then you leech. But that's the reality of it, period. Period. If you're watching Twitch as a non-donating, non-sub, you are leeching. Does that mean that you should feel bad about it? I don't know. But the reality is that you are leeching.
Such a laughable sense of entitlement, especially when she has no talent at all. Also, she's not making $0 from viewers that watch her for free. Twitch itself places an ad at the beginning of your stream, so when someone clicks on your stream, you're getting money just from that click. And I'm pretty sure she plays ads throughout her streams, which also gets her money from viewers that aren't donating or subbing to her. So I don't know why the fuck she thinks she possibly has the right to complain about not getting an extra $5 from people that either can't afford to or just don't want to because she isn't earning that $5. And she absolutely isn't earning that $5. All she does is insult the chat. She doesn't provide anything at all of value, and I'm pretty sure she hates streaming and only does it to just try and get money out of viewers or guilt them into giving her money, which is super shitty. I'd say 95% of all streamers, myself included, I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/moistcritical. Come stop by if you want to put a few extra inches on your penis. I'd say 95% of all streamers do it just because they love streaming. I know I do. I don't think the majority of streamers are going around just constantly begging for subs and donations, but I know there definitely are a few, her being the biggest culprit, but I'd say the majority of streamers aren't like that.
Chat! I haven't got a donation or a sub for an hour. What the fuck? For an hour? What the fuck? An hour when I fucking working for free? What the fuck?
What a horrible, embarrassing perspective for someone to take on something like this. She has the worst possible attitude. I'm not going to go into her disgusting past. She's done a lot of really fucked up shit and said some fucked up shit. But just this perspective of hers that she is so adamant about, where if you are not paying her, you are a piece of shit. She calls you names, she calls you out by your screen name if she sees you're not subbed. She is the most standoffish, unlikable person on that platform. And it's gotta be kind of embarrassing to be a subscriber to this girl because she's openly hostile and doesn't give a fuck about it. Only there to siphon $5 out of your wallet every month because she feels entitled to it, as if you're just holding her money for her because you flip on her stream to fall asleep to it once every 3 months. But yeah, this narcissist is probably the greediest person on Twitch. She's like the Mr. Krabs of streaming, but not nearly as cool as Mr. Krabs because she has a shitty personality, a horrible attitude, and the worst perspective on things on that entire platform.
And the reason why this is getting retweeted and liked so much is because she's an attractive woman who didn't act like a nice person, which is what makes sexually frustrated incels angry. Woman non-acting, woman out of her place, me mad.
Yeah, this hero decides to make it an issue about her being a woman, despite the fact that that is irrelevant to why people don't like it. It's because people don't like someone that says shit like that, and it is that greedy and that disrespectful and that entitled. It has nothing to do with her being a woman. But this guy's trying to score some of those brownie points. Oh, streamer, please look at me fight for you on Twitter. Please let down your long hair so I may take my $5 and climb up and woo you over. It's also really cute that Mike over here decides to call everyone that disagrees with her perspective an incel when he himself is like the fucking king of incels. Check out his first interaction with the streamer.
That's fine. I think that's fine. So if a guy pays for my tab,
I think I'm getting your attention. I feel like I touched like a vampire touching holy water.
can I help you?
Well, I think they want to go in.
Okay.
Whoa there, Mike. I think you made her a little too wet with that alpha energy. Yeah, man, you've definitely got a lot of room to be tossing the word incel around, huh? With game like that? What a fucking player. Great work, Mike. There are people sticking up for her, of course. Buyer's remorse. They've already paid for the subscription and now they feel like they need to justify it to everyone in the world. Like what you like who you like. It's totally fucking fine. But there's very clear reasons why people don't like what she said that have nothing to do with her being a woman, Mike. It has to do with her attitude and her disrespect and that sense of entitlement that she thinks everyone has to fucking pay her to watch her, and then she guilts them into it and shames them and makes them fucking feel bad and attacks them for it, which is wrong, Mike. It's just fucking wrong and it's shitty. It's a bad look and it's pathetic. But anyway, yeah, that's about it. I've talked about this a couple times in the past, but Twitch can be an extremely scary platform to be on. I'm not talking about because the people on it, like weirdos in the chat, constantly demanding feet pics or telling a female streamer that they have a butt-fuckable pussy or whatever dumb shit they want to say in chat. I'm talking about because of Twitch itself and their zero-tolerance policy for accidents. There have been countless examples of streamers who have made an innocent mistake where they're playing or watching something, then all of a sudden, bang, surprise titty on screen for half a second, and then they're banned the next day for it because context doesn't seem to really matter and they just don't give a fuck if it was on purpose or not. Also, you can get banned for really small things like a queef on stream, so it gets wild out there. But I've unintentionally laid booby traps on YouTube for streamers who do reaction-based content. And a couple days ago, one of my Macaulay Culkin Home Alone style traps was sprung by a huge streamer named Mizkif. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you the clip, and then there's a lot I'd like to talk about here.
As someone who knows none of the parties involved and I watched both videos, hey, Dream cheated. I personally would have went with the someone else messed with my mod folder defense, a less verifiable, tried and true classic. God damn it, Critical, you idiot.
The Council of Cock has decided your fate. You're a pussy. It's just Moby Huge's Get Over It. It's life, and it's beautiful. Now, Miz is a friend of mine. I can assure you that he's probably going to be fine. I don't fucking work for Twitch. I don't know, maybe he will get banned. Maybe we get fucking perma-banned. Those dicks were too big and violated the Geneva Convention or whatever. I have no fucking idea. But this isn't the first time it's happened either. But I want to say, this wasn't done intentionally. It is still, to date, probably the best thumbnail I've ever had for any video ever. It's from the Belle Delphine Will Not Beat Me video. And it has been just a true beauty, like a Renaissance painting. Real quick, if you're watching this on stream right now, Miz, I bet your heart is racing and you're starting to panic again. Fucking shaking your fist in the air. Damn you, Charlie and your Moby Huges. Fucking haunted by the Council of Cock. Nowhere is safe, Miz. Sleep with one eye open. You never know when the Council of Cock might sneak into your nightmares. But trust me, Miz, it's probably fine. If you're watching this on stream and didn't skip the Moby Huge pictures, I wouldn't worry too much. But anyway, I've seen it around Twitter quite a bit, and a couple of other Twitch streamers have also encountered it in the wild like a legendary Pokemon and had to delete the VOD and delete all the evidence. I don't blame Mizkif for panicking because it's Twitch and you never really know what they're going to ban for and when. So it's not like I think he's a weak man or a coward for deleting the VOD. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just the Council of Cock, baby. Like, you know, it's not going to be offended by it. I completely understand. I know Mizkif can appreciate the art. I'm sure he's a fan, but it's just a little too risky for Twitch. I wouldn't be surprised if Mizkif eventually prints off this thumbnail, puts it on like a fucking Magic the Gathering card, and gets it a PSA graded to put on his wall. This is also not the first time Mizkif has fallen victim to this exact same thumbnail. Actually happened the day I released the video, too.
Yeah, true. Island, you taught me, Pokemon cards? I taught you how to steal content.
Is that how it works?
Dude, what is with that thumbnail?
When Belle Delphine said to the world that she would be I'm straight up speedrunning Mizkif's permaban. His VODs are going, dropping like fucking flies at the face of the Council of Cock. They just can't stand the overwhelming masculinity. Yeah, this is like the new Rick roll for Mizkif. For some reason, he keeps encountering the Council of Cock. I don't know how it keeps happening, but my god is it joyous every time. I would like to address his community, though. I actually think Mizkif has a really, really fucking great community. And when this happened, they came to my stream that night, and they're like, Charlie, I think you just got Mizkif banned. Please help. What do we do? We're losing our savior. You fucked him in the ass, Charlie. What is going on? So I'll just play the clip real quick where I talk about it. And let me just go ahead and put those fears to rest right now. I'm pretty sure Mizkif isn't going to get banned. This has happened to a couple of other streamers that have actually reached out to me. Miz isn't the only one that keeps coming across like the Big Moby Huge thumbnails or anything. Another streamer named Kaylee also said like, what the fuck is going on? Do I need to worry because I saw your Moby Huge thumbnail on YouTube? And I was like, no, it's probably fine. I don't think they're going to do anything about it. But anyway, let me show you this clip and then we'll talk a bit more. Thanks to resub R-Boss. Mizkif was scrolling through Twitter. He was reading Clint Stevens' prophecy where he predicted the dream thing as a joke. And in the replies, one of the top replies was the thumbnail of the video I made with the competition with Belle Delphine, where I was sitting between two Moby Huges, kind of just going over the competition and the collection of dildos. And it said, the Council of Cock will choose your fate. And Mizkif just must be so acclimated to seeing dick on the regular. He just left it on screen while he was reading Clint Stevens' message very slowly. So it just sat there lingering with the Council of Cock and these two Moby Huges. And then he eventually notices, and he slaps his head like a fucking cartoon character, and he's like, Charlie, you idiot, and then deletes the VOD instantly. He is not going to get banned, but if he does, that would be an incredible way of going out. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to talk about this briefly. Obviously, I didn't do it on purpose with the thumbnails as a way of pranking streamers, though it has kind of turned into like a superpower. I have like the internet death note. I can just write a streamer's name in there and they'll come across the Council of Cock photo or other Moby Huge thumbnails or something and it'll get him in some trouble, perhaps. But yeah, it's not, again, wasn't like some kind of evil scheme where I was rubbing my hands together trying to sabotage people on Twitch. Just some incredible thumbnails that Twitch maybe might not approve of. And I don't think any streamers have anything to worry about. If they have come across any of the Moby Huge thumbnails, I'm sure it'll be alright. Anyway, that's about it. Over the last couple days, I just haven't been able to decide if it was a good idea to talk about this publicly or not. I have been more back and forth on this than a student driver learning how to parallel park. I just feel like this topic is one where even mentioning it makes it more of a problem. Kind of like the Bye Bye Man, where even just saying his name gives him power. But ultimately, this is a topic that I've covered on this channel many times over the last 3 or 4 years. I've been keeping my finger on the pulse of this entire AI deepfaking industry. So there's actually quite a bit I'd like to say on the subject. You already know where this is going. You can already see the train tracks and where the rails are heading. We're talking about the Atrioc situation, which I'm very confident the majority of you have seen by now. Atrioc is a very popular streamer, and earlier this week, he made a big blunder. He was streaming, and during his stream, there was a split second where he showed his tabs. And unlike the many other streamers that have come before him that have made this same mistake where they show something embarrassing, or they show, like, porn and get banned for 3 days for it, Atrioc's case is a little more unique, because the tab he showed was porn, but it was AI deepfaked porn of his streaming coworkers. The image only jump scared the stream for about a second, but the ramifications from this are going to last much longer. Of course, this happened publicly, so I suppose Atrioc felt the need to defend himself publicly, which led to a very tearful and very uncomfortable stream where he was apologizing and explaining everything while his wife was in the background during all of it. He was going over the situation, explaining that one night at 2 a.m. he was on Pornhub, perusing the old tube there, and he clicked on one of the ads, which immediately blew my mind and probably everyone else's mind in the world that anyone clicks on ads on any site, let alone porn sites. That's just asking for malware, virus, Trojan, or just having your whole fucking computer explode. But he said morbid curiosity got the best of him. He saw an ad for AI deepfake porn. He clicked on it, and then paid for it. He paid for access to the deepfaked porn, and it was of some of his streaming colleagues, which of course is a very big problem. That's weird, creepy, and pretty disgusting stuff. I think everyone can agree with that. He did follow this up last night with a written apology, going more in depth on everything and talking about the action he's going to take to improve, as well as stepping away from his company Off-Brand. And I'm going to go ahead and let everyone know, in case you don't know, Atriok and I have collaborated on projects over the last year a couple times. We've talked quite a bit. I do consider him a friend, so when all this happened, I was extremely disappointed. Now, since this happened a couple days ago, it's already ancient history on the internet. Everyone's already given their take and talked about this situation, so I don't really have anything to add to the whole Atriok discussion that someone hasn't already said. It is very clearly a pretty gross and creepy thing to have done, especially because it's not just morbid curiosity that you just clicked on something and saw it. You clicked on it, you paid for it, knowing what you were about to see, and then got it. And then it also stayed open in the tabs. Like, all of that is very bad, alarming shit. I'm not really here to just keep focusing on the Atriok situation itself or like dunking on the stream. I actually want to talk about AI deepfaked porn directly, because I've actually talked about this quite a bit over the last couple of years. And now what Atriok has done is he's opened the can of worms and shown a lot more people just how far along AI deepfaking technology has come in the porn industry. He was kind of like the lightning rod, the catalyst to open people's eyes to this kind of degeneracy that's existed for a few years now. This whole situation almost worked out like a hashtag ad, like a sponsored stream segment, because the traffic to that site exploded as a result of this whole story. Now, the site has been shut down, and rightfully so. I'll also briefly tackle the damaged Coomer brains that are somehow defending this as like a normal, not awful thing. They're saying, like, it's not even their real body, why do they care, this is fucking stupid, it's not illegal. It actually is illegal in a few states, but even just setting aside the legality of it, how could you possibly make a sane argument to justify taking people that don't do sexual content and putting them in sexual content anyway, without their permission, consent, or even knowledge that it exists, and then you're selling it to people to jerk off to? Like, can you not see how that's a huge violation? Building an entire career without ever touching sexual content and then still being sold as sexual content by somebody else and using other people's bodies on yours as if it is yours? How can you possibly not see how fucked up that is? The argument that I've heard time and time again is it's not their real body, why do they care? Well, it's because it is indistinguishable from being a real photo or real video because the technology is so fucking advanced. That would be like if someone took a picture or a video of you with a really tiny wiener and sent it around your entire university to make fun of you, or posted it underneath every single one of your tweets saying, "This you," and it's your tiny wiener with like a banana in your butt. No one's going to know if it's real or fake because the technology is so good. Unless you pay very close attention to like hands and feet, but they're also smart with that. In a lot of the photos and videos, they don't show the hands or feet anymore because they know the technology hasn't mastered it. So you really have no way of knowing if it's true or false. And even if you try and debunk that, let's say you're getting harassed by a bully that's deep faking small wieners on all your pictures and underneath all of your tweets. Let's say you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm tired of it. Here's my real dick and it's 9 inches of steel and glory. Well, now they can just say, you deep fake that, that's not your real penis. You will never be able to prove what's real and fake. Thus, it's totally irrelevant whether or not it's their actual bodies or not because it doesn't matter. They didn't consent to it, A, which is a huge issue that for some reason people are downplaying. They didn't consent to it or give permission to the site to deepfake porn of them. And B, no one's going to know if it's real or fake if someone just starts posting that places like, oh, here's an OnlyFans leak of this streamer, but you didn't know they had a secret OnlyFans. You wouldn't know. Thus, it's a terrible fucking thing all around. These streamers don't do sexual content. Thus, that's why the AI deepfake porn of them exists. If they did do sexual content, it would be redundant. You could just go to their OnlyFans or their Pornhub page. So it's targeting completely innocent women in this industry that don't do anything sexual and still making it sexual for the sake of squeezing some doubloons out of some desperate porn-addicted losers that are frothing at the mouth to get porn of their favorite streamer. That's not normal and that's not acceptable behavior. Again, these are streamers that didn't consent to it, give their permission, know it existed, and they are still being sold sexual content of them that they never produced or had any hand in is being sold to fucking creepy losers. It should be super easy for anyone to understand why people are rightfully upset about all of this whole situation. And let's extend this to a bigger scope. Let's talk about this from a business sense. Businesses have gone full Weenie Hut Jr. I lost a major partnership because I made a dirty song. Now imagine the career problems that can unfold from AI deepfake porn being made of these people. Having that somehow find its way to advertisers or brands they work with could create real issues, even though they've done nothing wrong. They've never made sexual content, they've never done any of the things in the videos or the photos, but it doesn't matter because it still is so indistinguishable from being authentic. It should be very obvious why this is a fucking big problem. Now, I do really want to mention that while every victim in this case was a woman because Atrioc had paid for the female streamers' content, it does exist for men as well, and it has for quite some time. It is obviously more prevalent in women because more people are going to look for AI deepfake porn of women on the internet than men, and you'd be stupid to try and argue the opposite. But it is worth noting that this isn't just a woman-specific issue. This does exist for men. There is a ton of deepfake porn of me, for example. And I want to touch on the actual AI deepfaking and everything regarding that itself. You may remember, if you've been around the channel for a few years, I actually told the story of the day I became alerted to this industry. It was just an innocent, ordinary, normal afternoon, and then someone sent me a message talking about a fake Charlie porn video that was floating around. So I clicked it, and it was a deep fake of me giving a dual hand job. So I was skiing with some wieners here, grabbing 2 penises in each hand. And this is when AI deepfaking was still pretty new, so it was primitive, a bit archaic, it wasn't convincing, it was floating around as like a very self-aware joke, and it made me giggle. And then another one popped up shortly thereafter of me giving myself a foot job, I think, and the physics of it were crazy. I mean, it looked like a PlayStation 1 malfunctioning cutscene. Like, there were quite a few AI deepfake pornos of me, and I thought nothing of it other than, wow, this is goofy. But I did at least want to keep my eye on it because I knew, as everyone does with technology, it only gets more and more sophisticated. So fast forward to 2023. We're at a point where AI deepfaking is so impressive that only a few days ago, a picture of 4 women in bra and panties went viral on Twitter with dudes drooling over them, and then it was revealed that that was all AI generated and none of those women existed, and people's minds were blown. It's no longer like this goofy thing where it looks like fucking terrible Photoshop. It's a very convincing tool. So obviously some bad actors are making porn out of people that don't do sexual content and selling it as authentic. They're not selling it as AI deepfaked porn most of the time. A lot of these companies are selling it as like leaks or look at what just dropped in this special Discord server of this person. And then they're selling AI deepfake porn of people that don't do that. So it's not even being marketed as a deepfake by most of the companies out there at the moment. And a lot of people are none the wiser because of just how convincing and how real it is. Obviously, all of it is being made without the people's permission or their consent for this kind of content to be made. But it doesn't matter. It's spawned an entire industry out of people exploiting it and using it for this financial gain and this really seedy, shitty, shady, weird community that has grown from it. And I don't have a spicy take on all of it where it's like, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, that's the price of being on the internet. Because I don't think that should be the price of being on the internet. Having to just have porn of you always exist, even when you don't do porn. Just like fucking deep-faked revenge porn or whatever, like, that shouldn't be the cost of doing business online. It should be illegal, and in 3 states it is. Hopefully that grows as the technology does, where they start making it illegal pretty much everywhere to deep-fake fucking porn of people. But yeah, it's a pretty awful situation, and it's a pretty complicated one. I do think a lot of the streamers are taking the right approach of getting the sites that are hosting these things and producing these things taken down. That is absolutely the correct play. 100%. It's not like what they're doing is okay, and I don't understand the fucking weirdos that are defending it. So yeah, just wanted to talk about the whole AI situation here with the deep fakes, and that's about it. There's an expression called misery loves company, and today I realized that that's kind of like the philosophy of how I live my life. Whenever I see something that makes me upset, I share it with all of you. If I see something that's embarrassing or gross and yucky, I make sure all of you have to see it and experience it as well. If I have to be traumatized by turbo cringe, so does everybody else. I go full scorched earth, I salt the soil, making sure everyone also has to feel my agony. And I even do that in real life with my friends too. Like if I eat a piece of food that I'm a little concerned might not be fully cooked, like a little raw, and I get concerned about like a foodborne illness, I'll see if any of my friends will eat it too, so that way we can share in the sickness together, so I'm not alone. It's always met with a resounding no, and go fuck yourself, but I at least still do give the attempt. Point is, today I realized that I do that a lot, and I'm about to do it again. There is a trend of streamers that I've talked about quite a few times over the last few years that always make me infuriated. It is the distracted drivers streamers. I'm sure you've seen a lot of streams that take place in a car where a streamer is literally reading chat while driving. It is unbelievably dangerous, irresponsible, and just an absolute terrible thing to do. And I'm always surprised that there's not more huge accidents that occur as a result of it. It of course not only endangers their life, but the lives of all of the innocent people on the road around them, simply because the streamer can't fight the urge to look at chat to read Omega lol and look at ASCII art of some big tits. It's fucking stupid. Now it is bannable on Twitch. I'm not saying that they're flying under the radar and Twitch is doing nothing about it. When Twitch is made aware of a streamer that is clearly reading chat while driving, they do take action. Now that's not to say that all driving streams are prohibited, because they are still allowed as long as a passenger is the one that's reading chat, not the driver, so that way it's a little bit safer. But unfortunately, about once a month, there's some little worms that pop out from the shadow that decide to do a driving stream because they're the main character of life, they're the fucking protagonist, and everyone else on the road is just their props, so they'll hop in their car and just be reading chat the whole time from their phone, putting everyone around them at risk. And that brings us to my least favorite streamer on Twitch. I'm not going to say her name, but 3 days ago, she was streaming while driving, reading chat on her phone, and she ran over someone's dog. And I'm clearly not going to show you the actual running over the dog because it's very hard to watch and extremely hard to listen to because the animal is wailing in pain for like 45 seconds before the clip cuts off. It's fucking awful.
Stukło przed chwilą. Nie wiesz jak wtedy... Jezus, ile tu psów! Pewnie jakaś macieczkę.
It's at that moment she runs over somebody's pet because she was too busy reading chat on her phone. She even mentioned that there were a lot of dogs around, and then still made the decision to constantly be reading fucking chat. And it's not like they were saying anything insightful. Like, you can see the chat right there on the screen. There's nothing that is urgent that she needs to be looking down for. It's not like some kind of fucking speed situation where she needs to be reading chat every X amount of seconds or the car's gonna blow up. She could have just not done that, and the person's pet would have probably not been hit. So this fucking clown here that's dressed like Curious George couldn't help but be reading her fucking chat and then ran over a dog. Clearly this made me very upset, so I wanted to share it with all of you so you'd also be upset. Good news is she did get banned for this, but I also think she should be facing criminal charges. Distracted driving, texting while driving, all of that. It's not a joke. Like, at all. And this is a step above texting and driving, I would argue. Because if you go back and watch her clips, she is staring at that phone for like fucking 5-10 seconds at a time. It's not even like she's just like doing one of these. Not that that's any better. But like she was like reading it as if she was like trying to get through a goddamn like Magic Treehouse book on her phone. You know, you would have thought that she was going over important legal documents with the amount of time she spent fucking reading her phone in the car while driving. Obviously, this situation gets me heated. I'm like a microwave with tinfoil in it right now. It is extremely upsetting to see this happen, and this is far from the only case of it. It's just the most recent. There's been plenty of car accidents from streamers reading chat, but usually it just involves them getting into single car accidents like this goofball here who crashed into a parking barrier while reading chat. I also remember seeing one on YouTube where a guy was arguing with someone in chat and then ran a stop sign and got T-boned by a fucking semi-truck. It looked like something out of a Final Destination movie. And to make it worse, he clearly lost the argument because he got hit by a fucking car while arguing. That's an instant L on that entire confrontation, so the chatter even walked away with the dub. It's not uncommon, it's not that rare. Somehow there's always these pathetic little worms, smooth-brained, stupid-head idiots that'll pop on a live stream and then just start reading chat while driving, and it leads to situations like this. And among all of these champions of Darwinism is my least favorite streamer, that lady I just showed you. She was a Polish streamer before she got banned for this, and hopefully she faces criminal charges for it as well. I definitely think that's appropriate, or at the very least, losing her license. I've always been very open and honest about my stance of drunk drivers and how there's absolutely no sympathy I feel for anyone drunk driving. I think the laws should absolutely slap the fuck out of them. Drunk driving has no excuse, and I feel the same about distracted driving when it's as blatant as this. It's been translated what she was saying, and she said, according to this, "Jesus, how many dogs are here?" And then after saying that, goes right back to looking at her phone. So she recognized that there were dogs around the area, and then still decided to read chat because she had got a little notification. That's like actual baby brain shit. It makes me question if she ever developed object permanence. She took notice of dogs around the area, and then assumed they vanished when she looked at her phone or something, like, oh, I can't see them anymore, they must have just fucking phased out of existence, and then she hits one. Like, that is some shit like out of a video game, when you critique, like, bad AI in a game. Like, when a guard sees you, he's like, oh, who is that? I see you over there. But then you, like, go into a tall bush, and he's like, must have been the wind. Like, that's her brain. That must be, like, how her mind works. The second she can't see something, it ceases to exist. It's clearly very frustrating to me. And I just wanted to vent about this after seeing it today. I just wanted to share it with all of you so you could also be upset about it. And I just wanted to show you who my least favorite Twitch streamer is now. So yeah, that's really about it.
Everyone knows that public nuisance streamers that go around harassing strangers, causing a commotion, and just making everyone's lives around them more miserable suck. Like, that's not a hot take. Everyone knows that. They're just this miasma of cringe that cause everyone a massive headache. But as I and many others have pointed out for years now, they do inspire an entire generation of young viewers to be losers like them. Because they do find an audience, they do find success, they make money from it. So it becomes a career path and something that young kids want to do to try and emulate that behavior and be like them. It's fucking tragic, and now we're starting to see the results of all of this.
What the fuck? Put your hand in my food again, and I'm throwing all of your phones.
Hey, you're not touching our phone.
Don't put your hand in my food again. Do not do that. You don't do that.
This young whippersnapper can't be older than 11 years old, and he's already becoming a scourge. He's trying to do what all of the other public nuisance streamers do by just being a societal hemorrhoid. He still has his baby teeth. He hasn't even gotten his adult teeth yet, and he's already doing this shit. He just graduated from suckling milk out of his mother's bosom, and now he's trying to suckle milk out of Jack Doherty's titties here. He's just trying to get that clout through being a piece of shit. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Charles, are you really going to be insulting an 11-year-old here? And the answer is a resounding absolutely. This needs to be squashed. You gotta put the kibosh on this immediately to learn that this is not acceptable at all. So absolutely, I will be insulting this kid and the entire goof troop that travels with him for these streams. Now, he has thankfully been banned for this, which is one of the very few times I've ever seen Kick ban someone. I imagine it's not a permaban, but it 100% should be. I guess we'll have to wait and see if it is. Yeah, though, this shit absolutely super sucks. So I'm doing a public service here by insulting them. Hopefully it discourages more people like this, and hopefully this kid grows and learns that it's awful. It's not even good content. People are watching you because you are a clown, and they're sitting on the edge of their seat waiting for you to get your ass beat. That is your entire audience. You are a fucking spittoon that they are spitting in. Why would you want that to be your whole brand? His whole stream is basically either arguing or fighting people, and this is him just taking food from a stranger's table,
That lady then goes up to confront him, and I'll show you that clip in a moment. But in the same stream, he also gets in an actual fist fight with some other kids. His whole stream is just creating problems and instigating, hoping that someone will fight back, and he just yells and screams about it, or in this case, throws some wet noodle punches at them. So him and his goof troop fight this other group, and they know that they're not going to get their ass beat because they're too young. So the group that's taking these punches doesn't actually fire back. They push him away at one point, but they don't actually swing on him because they know they would be the ones that get in trouble because this is a toddler. So they're using their age as a shield because they know there's going to be no real repercussions.
Don't put your hand in my food again. Do not do that. You don't do that to people. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Stop filming me. You're a nobody. It's a live stream. You can't stop it. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Give me the phone. Now you're not touching my fucking phone. Touch my phone, I'm gonna actually do something. What are you gonna beat me up? Back the fuck up. Back the fuck. I will. How old are you? 5?
Kids making threats to this woman. Then he also has his friend like behind her just in case. It seems like he was contemplating sucker punching her. Like that's what it seemed like the synapses in his brain were about to fire and tell him to do there. This is his whole stream with him and his friends just wandering around, making problems with complete strangers for no reason. And I'm also using the term friends very loosey-goosey here because I have a hunch that they're not actually his friends. They probably can't stand to be around this annoying shit stain. They're just here because he has some viewers and they're trying to elevate themselves. That's typically how these stories go. I think it's also worth mentioning that he has clearly been heavily inspired by Jack Doherty. Jack Doherty is another public nuisance streamer who does this exact same style of content where he just travels around, makes problems, causes a ruckus, and he has a bodyguard with him so that when anyone tries to confront Jack, the bodyguard steps in and either attacks that person or scares them away and sizes them up, gets them out of there to protect Jack Doherty from the consequences of his actions while Jack peeks around the bodyguard still lobbing insults at him like a real tough guy. Also, Jack Doherty is probably about the same size as this 11-year-old. So, the reason I say that he's clearly inspired by him is because this kid also travels around with a bodyguard. That's who that dweeb with the TikTok broccoli hair was that's positioned behind the woman here. That's supposed to be this kid's muscle. Or backup, perhaps. Maybe sidekick. I believe it's supposed to be his bodyguard, though, like Jack Doherty has. But the clear difference between Jack Doherty's bodyguard and this kid's is Jack's is a full-grown adult man who is like a professional bodyguard. This kid's is another child who's still afraid of the dentist and probably still wearing Pampers and the head of the anime club. But he is still trying very hard to be like Jack Doherty. And the question needs to be asked, where are their parents? Where in the fucking world are these kids' parental figures?
Do you? Alright, hold up. Do you? Don't do that again. Hold up. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Let's go.
I couldn't imagine anything more painful as a parent than seeing your son like this, or any of the kids in this group here. It'd be less shameful if they were just addicted to heroin. Now, I know a lot of people default to blaming the parents here because that's a really easy thing to point the finger at, especially with so many parents just sitting their kids in front of an iPad and letting them doom scroll the internet and letting the internet raise their kids. But in a case like this, I don't necessarily know if that's 100% how this happened. I think even if you're someone who's very active in their kids' lives, they can just stumble across something like a kick streamer like Jack Doherty and see him flexing his wealth and be, blown away by that, getting stars in their eyes and be like, I want to be like that. And no matter what the parent does, they can't really snap them out of it. That's just something the kid's going to have to learn through failure and learning that they're going to end up alone and a loser by trying to be like Jack Doherty. But I think there is a clear problem here that the parents aren't here. Like, they're just letting their 11-year-olds wander around IRL streaming. Under no circumstances should a child of this age be fucking IRL streaming on Kick. Kick is a platform that actually has child predators on it. There was a whole expose video about a big streamer who was legitimately a fucking predator. And their kids are now streaming IRL on that platform right now. And even on any platform, I don't think any kids should be doing any kind of streams like this. So I really am curious why the parents aren't more present in their life to allow them to stream for hours like this. That's just downright irresponsible, 100%. But I don't necessarily blame them for the kid trying to be a Jack Doherty clone, a bootleg Jack Doherty. That's something that even if the parents were monitoring their internet usage, he may have just stumbled across through TikTok or or Twitter or something and then just got hooked on it. And that's a hard thing to stop as a parent. I do understand that part, but they definitely need to know that this is not acceptable behavior or normal behavior for kids to be doing. Fucking streaming, being an asshole. Come on. The parents definitely got to step up here and do something, I would say. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the last time we see a kid start to do streams like this. I really do think that streamers like Jack Doherty, who I keep name dropping, but it's just so clear his influence on this kid's life, really do create further degenerates. They just continue this cycle of degeneracy by making more people like this. And it sucks. That shit is terrible. So hopefully I'm wrong and we won't see more cases like this. But man, it's still awful. Even with just one case, that one kid was inspired enough to start trying to do the same thing. It's sad to see. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. That's about it. So yeah.